Yeah, y'all know what it is, man. It's another episode of the Everyday Parlay, man. I'm ETA Money Row. Coming to you on behalf of the Nature Sports Podcast, man. Y'all already know. Coming to you on behalf of JL Breeze. Coming to you on behalf of Studio Run. Coming to you on behalf of ETA Music Group. Y'all know what it do, man. So, we had a good weekend this weekend, man. Good weekend of football, good weekend of basketball. Good night of basketball last night. We're going to go over a few scores and highlights for you. We got about a half an hour until I want to give y'all maybe an hour, 45 minutes to get your bets in. The game start at I believe the game started at 7:30. 7:30 today the game start. We got 4 games on the board in the NBA. We got the Bulls and Raptors. We got the Knicks and Wizards. We got OKC and Utah. And then at the last game of the night, we got 2 late games. We got Sacramento, Indiana, and Memphis and Minnesota. So with all those games, on the board, we want to at least give you some NBA tonight. I kind of wanted to give you some college too. So I'll see if I can get some college up for you and see what we can do with that as well. Shout out to everybody out there listening, man. It's the Nature Sports Podcast. It's the Everyday Parlay. I'm ETA Money Row. You know how we do that. I do got some picks for y'all. I got a nice little 4-pick for you. Ready to roll, ready to get it, ready to swing it how we swing it, baby. Try to get it up on Instagram. Let's get everything up on Instagram and get this thing up and running. Get everything rolling. Shout out to everybody on Instagram, man. Everybody on Facebook. Oh, but maybe not on Facebook. This one don't stream to Facebook. However, everybody on YouTube, Twitter, and everywhere else, y'all know what we do. This is the Nature Sports Podcast. And we just gonna give y'all man what we know. You know what I mean? Just gonna give you what we know. All right. Without further ado, let's start with some of the games from last night. It was a nice day of basketball last night. We had about 7 or 8 games. Starting with the Detroit Pistons. And so let me go on. Let's see. Start with the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota beat Detroit by 7 last night. Detroit gave them a good go. I mean, Detroit, even though their record is really, really horrible, they still gave Minnesota a good go. Their record is 4-36. But however, they still gave Minnesota all they wanted last night in last night's game. So that's just something to keep in mind. Moving right along. The Houston Rockets played the New York Knicks. New York came away with the win, a 15-point win, 109-94 in that one. That was also a really good game, but I think Houston may be missing a couple pieces. They got some rookies starting right now, some younger guys starting and playing for them. So, that's just one of the things that I saw yesterday that might have affected them when they were playing against a nice veteran squad. You had 30 and 30 yesterday out of Brunson and Julius Randle. So that's something that just was big yesterday for the New York Knicks. No, sorry, it wasn't 30 and 30. No, Brunson and Randle still put in work, though. It wasn't, I don't believe it was 30 and 30. They went 30 and 30 against the team they played tonight, the Wizards. So, and we got some of the bets, you already know. We got some more picks for later on with that. But they went 30 and 30 against the Wizards, and they played the Wizards tonight. So that's why I had the 30 and 30 in mind. The Toronto Raptors, with a big trade yesterday, they played the Miami Heat last night, and they got the win against the Miami Heat. Actually, a huge win by 24 points, 121-97 over the Heat. The Heat just didn't have enough scoring. I think Toronto, with this trade, everybody, where they traded Siakam away. They traded Siakam to Indiana. Indiana missing Halliburton. They really needed a big push or a little push to stay in contention because they seem to be falling right now. So they made a move to heighten and extend what they were doing, which I can't hate them for that. So Siakam goes to Indiana. And Toronto last night doesn't seem to be affected by it, as they got the win. As they got the win for the with the Indiana for against the Miami Heat last night. Sorry, the Milwaukee Bucks took a big loss to Cleveland without Giannis Antetokounmpo. They really got stomped down and beat down yesterday. They lost 95 to 135. Man, that was a bit of a shocker for them to lose by lose by 30, 40 points against the Milwaukee Bucks. The Orlando Magic and the Atlanta Hawks played the big one. Deshaun, man, game winner last night. Game winner last night for Deshaun Murray. Deshaun, not Deshaun. Deshaun Murray got the game winner last night against the Atlanta Hawks, man. That was big. And that was a good shot. I mean, he hit it. We had 2 game winners last night, in fact. But that was one of them. That was a big one last night. And he definitely put in work. They went back and forth, but Deshaun Murray, the Magic got some injuries right now. They got a couple injuries. Well, one big one. So the Magic is just going through what they're going through with the injury problems that they have over there. But they still in the running. They still over 500, 22 and 18. So that was a big thing for them. The Dallas Mavericks and the LA Lakers, that was a late game. And they played, they went back and forth. Luka was coming off his injury. And but the Lakers was too much, especially in the third quarter. The Lakers scoring 45 points in the third quarter to really open that one up. And Luka was just coming off his injury, first game back. So I expect to see better things out the Mavericks. But on that one, they got the loss. Charlotte Hornets and New Orleans Pelicans. Charlotte is really going through whatever they're going through. I'll tell you one thing, though, that LaMelo Ball, LaMelo threw it off the backboard last night with a sick play last night. In the final game last night, you had Portland Trail Blazers and the Brooklyn Nets. That was the other game winner, Anthony Simons coming through with the game winner last night for the Portland Trail Blazers. They really needed to win. They haven't had one in a while. So it's good to see Anthony Simons, one of them young guns, go in and do what he do. I like Simon. I definitely like Simon. So that's just a quick review of all the games that happened last night. We're going to get you caught up on the games today. But that was a good game, good night of basketball last night, I will say. Good night of basketball, good clean night of basketball, man. Nothing too much. So tonight, you got the Chicago Bulls taking on the Toronto Raptors. The Bulls and the Raptors are in the same division. They've been going at it for years. However, the Raptors of course, we just mentioned they had to trade the Raptors on the back-to-back. The Bulls are giving the Raptors +2. The Raptors are +2 at home. Chicago -2 on the road. That game will be on TNT tonight. So that one, y'all go ahead and tune into that if you can. That's a good one. The Washington Wizards will be taking on the New York Knicks in New York tonight. The Wizards, last time they played, as I just mentioned, the Wizards gave up 30 and 30 to Brunson and to Julius Randle. That's something for y'all to keep an eye on. I don't know if I would bet it because it's hard to do that back to back. But however, I do have a few picks for that game. I'm gonna let y'all see those in a little bit. The OKC Thunder and the Utah Jazz, they go at it. OKC played last night and they got the loss, of course, last night to the Clippers. So tonight they really want to come back. I mean, their last game they got the loss to the Clippers. Sorry. Now, I don't think they played the Clippers last night. No. That was a few days ago. They played the Clippers a few days ago, and they got the loss against the Clippers. But they should be well rested and ready to go. They playing the Utah Jazz. Utah playing good. Marketing is playing good. So that's something that y'all want to think about on your prop bets today. If you're putting in a prop, marketing might be somebody you want to look at. I would not shy away from that because he's definitely playing good basketball right now, at least on the rebounds, or he can do rebounds, he can do all points. So marketing is one of those players that's really putting in that work. So that's something you need to look at. He's on a good streak. Also, Colin Sexton is on a good streak. He's playing big as well. So those are two guys that you really want to look at when making your picks today. Indiana Pacers, that, as I just mentioned, they made the trade yesterday for Siakam. Siakam should be a great addition. Their defense should get much better with Siakam because their defense has really struggled this year. But they play a really high-paced, fast-paced style of basketball, and I do think that Siakam fits in pretty well with that. And then we're moving right along. Got the Sacramento Kings, and they play the Sacramento Kings at home. The Kings over the last 10 games has really struggled. Even though I believe they have a winning record at 6-4 over the last 10. I'm gonna check and make sure for you guys. Over the last 10, the Sacramento Kings are 5-5 over the last 10. So this is a big game today for them, but they've really struggled. 5-5 against the Kings over the last 10 games. The Sacramento Kings are today -8 against the Indiana Pacers. And then the last game of the night, well, that was one of the last games of the night. That one tips off at 10 o'clock. And then the last game of the night, also on TNT, will be the Memphis Grizzlies taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota is giving Memphis 12.5 tonight. So, of course, Memphis got a ton of injuries. Desmond Bane is hurt. And we'll go over there. We'll go over their injuries as well as Ja Morant. Y'all know that when he came back off of suspension, I think he played maybe 2 or 3 games, but he is lost for the season, which is highly unfortunate. I wanted to see him boogie this year, and I know they would have probably got back into it if he could have got back. If he could have sustained and came back strong. But right now, they have a ton of injuries. Derrick Rose out indefinitely with a hamstring. Steven Adams gone for the season. Marcus Smart out indefinitely. Brandon Clark out indefinitely. Ja Morant out for the season. Desmond Bane out indefinitely. And also Jake LaRivas out indefinitely for the Memphis Grizzlies. On the other side, only thing you have who's out today is Jalen Clark, will be out for Minnesota Timberwolves. He's the only injury they have. So that's a bit of a mismatch, which is probably why you have a 12.5 point spread at this moment. The spread opened up at 12.5. It's currently sitting at 12.5. So that's big. That's big. The over and under in that game is 214. The over under in the Sacramento and Indiana game is 245. The over under in the OKC and Utah game is 244. The over and under in the Wizards and Knicks game is 234. And the over under in the Bulls and Raptors game is 228. So that's just a basic overview of what you have tonight. Again, I'm gonna try to get you. I'm gonna get y'all these bets up, get y'all this spread up. I do not want to take too much of your time today because I know that you need some time to get it in and get your bets in and really look at the board for whatever it's going to be today for you. So shout out to everybody out there listening. The last time we were up, I believe that was Tuesday night. Tuesday night, we ended up with a 3-2 record on the spreads, thanks to some late game heroics, I will say. So this ain't too bad. We was 3-2 yesterday, and we're gonna continue to get it in. Continue to get it in. We ain't gonna stop, baby. This is everyday parlay, and eventually we will get streaky and go on a long streak where you can win something and get it in. So without further ado, let's get the picks up so that you can get a peek in on what we got going on today. All right, so in this one, based on the Wizards and the Knicks, last time they played, Hartenstein had 19 rebounds. The Knicks also have Daniel Gafford, who seems to be a little gimpy. So I figured without Gafford there, I think that the Knicks could possibly, I believe the Knicks could possibly get the Knicks could possibly get really big underneath the basket. And Hartenstein is really taking over. I mean, the Knicks lead the league in the rebounds, and it's largely, it's largely because of Hartenstein. So that's something that y'all got to keep an eye on, man. Hartenstein putting that work in for sure. So can't hate on that. Hartenstein, we got Hartenstein with 13 rebounds. We got the Knicks on the money line. I also not sure that the Wizards can handle them. Even though I'm, y'all know I'm a DC guy, but I don't know, man. Knicks playing good, especially with Anunoby out there, and they also got Julius Randle. So I just think they too big. They're gonna be too big for the Wizards today. So we took Hartenstein with 13 rebounds. We got the Knicks on the money line. Got the Timberwolves also. I got it at plus. It should be minus. Let me change that over for y'all. We got the Timberwolves minus 12. All right. We got the Timberwolves minus 12. And then we got Sacramento Kings later on the night on the money line, man. We feel like they're going to pull it out. So that's without further ado. Of course, those are your picks for the day. Again, we wanted to make sure that we came in here, breezed on through, and gave you a little something. You dig? So, I mean, if y'all trying to get it in, you always can get it in here on the Nature Sports Podcast. It's ETA Money Row. And again, we're going to start coming to y'all a little bit earlier. It's just that today, we had a few late games. It wasn't too many games today. So, but most of the time, we're going to be on at 10 o'clock in the morning. We're going to jump on at 10 o'clock in the morning, do a nice review, and get you your picks for the day, man, so you got enough time to look at the board and see what else you could do on your own. But we're going to give y'all a nice parlay where you can get some money. As I always say, we got 4 up there. You ain't got to choose all of them. You might just take 2. You might take 3. Hey, you might take all 4. You never know. You know what I mean? But either way, this should be a good way to go with it, man. Today, this is the most sensible way that I see the board. And that's all I can give y'all is what I see. Again, shout out to everybody out there listening, everybody out there in the city, everybody out there in all the cities that are playing tonight. Good luck. Hopefully you guys come out uninjured, unscathed, and y'all can get the win. This is ETA Money Row. This is the Nature Sports Podcast. This is your everyday parlay for the day of January 18th, 2024. Peace.